Thank you all. This is an enormous opportunity that we have both as a fraternity and as an organization to engage in such partnerships. The team from Operation Hope, I definitely want to thank you all for your support in getting to this point here, but more importantly, what we look to do afterward. Again, my name is Britton Smith. I serve as the National Political Awareness Committee Chairman for Kappa Alpha Psi, and I have been amazed with the work that you all are doing at Operation Hope with this program, 1 million black businesses, the idea, the vision, the insight, and we'll hear more just a little bit about that later as I yield the floor to you, Chairman Bryant. But we're excited because, of course, a lot of things that align with the vision of the 34th administration of Kappa Alpha Psi, where we see the future of our community. It starts here with us, and it starts with organizations, and it starts with these partnerships. So I'm going to take my lead and give the floor to our Senior Grand Vice Mark, Jimmy McMichael, for some words, as he was very instrumental in helping us with this partnership.
All right, thank you. And my comments will be brief because, look, this is an exciting day, an important time, powerful collaboration between organizations that are committed to changing the narrative in communities. And what better way, what better thing to do than to help people turn an idea, a thought, into a thriving business? What better thing could we do, what better gift can we give than to create pathways to financial freedom? So we're excited about this opportunity. And at this point, I believe that the story that will be written later will be phenomenal, and that we're going to create things that are going to change the narratives of families and impact people of color for generations. So at this moment, I'm going to temper my excitement, and I'm going to turn the stage over to our leader, to our captain of the ship, a fearless leader, none other than the person who leads Kappa Alpha Psi, who represents achievement in every field of human endeavor across this country, our Grand Mark, Mr. Ruben Shelton, Esquire.
Thank you, Brother Senior Grand. This is an amazing day. The one thing that I talk about a lot, and a lot of my colleagues, we've been talking about this for years and years and years, is generational wealth. You know, not just creating wealth for now, but wealth that we can pass down to our kids and our grandkids. And this is the type of thing that can be a tool in the toolbox to help us create that generational wealth. Because it's hard to create that kind of wealth when you go to a job and you make a salary and you retire and get a gold watch. But when you can start a business and you can create something that is tangible that you can pass down to all of your family members, I mean, this is the kind of thing that this can begin, that this program can begin. So I'm terribly excited about having Kappa Alpha Psi be a part of this initiative with Operation Hope. And John, I appreciate you being here. And I look forward to our partnership.
My collaboration. My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
I deeply look forward to it.
Yes, sir.
You know, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. I was talking to Ambassador Andrew Young late last night as I was on the way from Daytona to Orlando, where I was meeting with the CEO of NASCAR, and Ambassador Young was talking about where we are in history and talking about, oddly enough, his time with Dr. King and where we were back 70 years ago when that movement started, and what we needed now. And we needed business deals cut in the suites, not marching in the streets. And I saw the storm coming into Florida, the hurricanes, and knew I had to get out of there or I'd never get here. And so I got up very early this morning to get here. It was not easy, but love is work. Non-love is laziness, anti-love is evil. I was exhausted when I got here, took a nap. But rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. It's actually a scientific fact. But being here now, actually to me, confirms the moment we are in. Let's say there's 15 people in this room. In order to have a movement 70 years ago, you have to have 1,500 people out on the street, or 15,000 people to get the media's attention. Or maybe you needed 200,000 people to move the nation's consciousness. You got 10, 15 people here in a business suite. And I keep saying that the movement has gone from marching in the streets to doing business deals in the suites. It's not about race and the color line so much as it's about class and poverty. And here we are sitting in this private room affecting public consciousness because, yes, the technology will record it, yes. But that's not important. What's important is you have 700 plus chapters, 50 states, 150,000 plus members. You correct me if I get this wrong. 150,000 plus members. Founded in, I think, 1911. In the crucible of the last movement where we were talking about access, we had gone from the first Reconstruction about freedom, then second Reconstruction about access. We fought that battle for my forefathers, our grandfathers, for over 100 years, maybe at this point 150 years. Now we're talking about opportunity. I call this the third Reconstruction. We were talking about not just cashing checks, which is what my father allowed to be happen, but to write checks. We don't realize you build wealth in your sleep. You make cash during the day. You make money during the day. You build wealth in your sleep. And to have the power of this fraternity, and I was so inspired by one of your leaders who showed me what you did with the Divine Nine, and how you guys brought everybody together. This is another message. Brought everybody together because it's about we, not me. To show the world that we can work together, that we can lead together. And the power of that photo on the Capitol steps, which I'm going to help to get out to everybody, is transformational. What you're doing quietly has powerful and loud reverberations. But let me be more specific. We live in the largest economy in the world, we're the only superpower. You cannot be a superpower without being an economic power. It's never happened in the history of the world. So you have 22 trillion, 21 trillion of GDP, 31 million businesses. About 3 million of businesses are black-owned businesses. 150,000 businesses employ more than one person. Just think about that. That's 4%. Just 4% of black businesses, not 4% of all businesses. So we're 9% of all businesses. We're 4% if you employ somebody of black businesses, which means that 96% of black businesses don't have an employee, are not involved in technology, and can't scale. So you can make some money, but you can't build any wealth. You just treadmilling. When I walked up and shook your hand, this dude's serious. I know he's smiling, but it ain't today. But he's sending a message that I'm showing up ready to deliver. There's no time to play. It reminds me of this attitude, which I think is essential. Non-emotional, no drama, no BS, no games. Just give me a problem that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and don't waste my time. Reminds me of another friend of mine. His name is Tony Wesson. 275th richest man in the world. He owns the Atlanta Hawks and a bunch of other stuff. And from him, I learned this. The largest religious group in America are my Jewish brothers and sisters. Sorry. The wealthiest business group in America are my Jewish brothers and sisters. The wealthiest. They were run out of Europe 100 years ago. A third of them exterminated in the Holocaust. They're 2% of the U.S. population. 25% of all the billionaires. 25% of all the wealth in the largest economy on the planet, and there's only 7 million of them.
Generational wealth.
There's only 15 million in the world. There's 8 billion people plus in the world. There's only 7 million Jews here and 15 million in the world. But they were focused. Even when somebody was trying to exterminate them, and they were focused like you're focused on 4 things: voting, education, maybe probably family, and it's right, self-esteem and confidence. The last thing was actually probably the second thing: business and understanding how money and wealth works. So maybe it was family, structure, resiliency, family, and then business. Those things probably overlapped. But they didn't let anybody get them off their focus. We were manipulated and helped to be off balance. But as I sit here today, in 2022, I would say this as we sign this document, and thank you so much for believing. We're sitting in a moment in history. But history does not feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. We got to make this real. We got to bring this to life. It's not about being a PhD, it's about being a PhD too. It's about executing on what's in this document. Let me tell you, a lot of people say a lot of things. We announced this 1 Million Black Business Initiative a year and a half ago, I think, at my annual meeting. Can I give you 1 minute of backstory?
Sure.
I was talking to the founder of Shopify. I was doing a town hall after George Floyd. And he said, what can I do to help? And I could have said, hook my family up, hook my friends up. This is what we normally do. Hook my cousin Boo Boo up, give me a grant. I don't know, naive, idealistic, way I'm built. I said, I don't know, help me create 1 million new black businesses? He said, send me something. Now, at the time, he's the wealthiest man in Canada. He's dropped a little bit because of the economic situation, but not much. He's still doing very well. So I sent him a note. Heard nothing. It's a week passed. So I wrote him a note, said, well, I assume that, no delinquency. I assume that you were not pleased with my proposal. No problem. Look for us to do something else down the road. Thank you very much. Wish you the best. His response, what are you talking about? I said, yes. I went to my spam folder. Can't make this up. It's sitting in my spam folder. Of course I will. One line. This is what you can do when you're a billionaire. Of course I will. That turned into a $130 million 10-year commitment to create 1 million new black businesses in America. Then Truist put $40 million behind that. The rest of the story sort of tells itself. My people gave me some data today. Lance Triggs. We're at 270,000 black businesses committed to in a year and a half. That does not include the national agreement we just signed with the U.S. Small Business Administration. Does not include that. That is the biggest economic engine for business in the country. They're now our partner. Does not include you. Does not include what I did Sunday with New Birth Church with Reverend Jamal Bryant. Somebody here from Baltimore. I'm sure you know Reverend Jamal Bryant.
He's a fraternity brother.
There we go. Coincidence is God's way of remaining in knowledge. Does not include what I'll do tomorrow morning. Does not include, so by the way, I was told there's 170,000 websites that have been created at Shopify, for free, by the way, in the last year. This was an idea. This is not the government. It's just an idea that we made real. We, us. And with this signing, in this quiet conference room, we just may affect the lives of, yes, 1,500 black businesses that we're going to commit to today. I think you're going to far exceed it. I think we're in there talking about 5,000 or 10,000. Because once you tell people they can be free, and once they believe it, and once they start wanting to write a check and not just cash it, you can't stop that kind of aspiration. So I'm exceedingly excited about this. Not because of the document, but because of who you are. Because your organization and the credibility that you bring. We can't do this alone, none of us. This is definitely a collaborative environment. We can only do this if we rise up together. Last point, the Citigroup report issued during the pandemic showed that discrimination cost America of black businesses alone $16 trillion in the last 20 years. Trillion in lost GDP. If they just knock it off right now, it could have another $1 trillion a year. So my point is, even if we support black business, even the racist wins, because GDP expands. So I want to thank you for being a pioneer, for being a visionary leader. I think a lot of organizations will follow your lead, but you guys are on the front line. And this is, I think, a historic moment, and I will make you proud by making sure we do the work in your 700 chapters in your 50 states with your 150,000 members, and we will honor the legacy of your 1911 charter and build on access to create opportunity.
And this opens the door, but we've got to walk through that door.
Yeah.
Unlocking that door and opening it is not enough. We've seen too many organizations and too many projects, quite honestly, that have had a great genesis, but no conclusion. We got to make sure that this gets done.
You have a pathways program also, don't you, for young people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Guide right.
Guide right. That connects, I think, with this.
That's right.
But let me say one last thing. Let me tell you how this works. Just to your point of, well, it's like the words are nice. You and I, or maybe not you and I, you need a haircut.
I like it well.
Unfortunately, I cut my own hair now. But let's say you're flying into D.C. and you need a haircut, and the way you do it now is you call the phone, call the barber. Hey, the barber says, hey, I'm in my book. I'm cutting the hair right now. Call me back. I don't know what my appointment was. You never called back. He's lost business. We're all familiar with that, right?
Right.
That's old school. That's 1960, 1970. Here's the way it works now. You're on the plane after the flight signs up to this, because we're going to give you a free website, give you a free domain name, we're going to give you free payment systems, we're going to give you free delivery systems, we're going to give you a credit line once you make your first sale, we're going to give you small business training, we're going to get your credit score up 54 points in 6 months, 100 points in 24 months, we're going to get your debt down $2,600, get your savings up $340. These, by the way, this is what we're producing right now. We'll get you a business plan. All this is free. Give you 2 hours with an attorney, 2 hours with a CPA, 2 hours with a marketing consultant. All this is at no cost. This package per business is worth $25,000. Free license with Shopify for 6 months. All free. So now, let's talk about the new business, the barbershop. He should have an e-commerce brother business. Now, he had set this up. Now you're on the plane at midnight. You go on the internet on the plane, looking for a barbershop in D.C. Barbershop comes up. You go online. He's asleep. You go online. You make an appointment on the scheduling app. You put your credit card in, which means if you don't show up, he still gets paid. Now you're online. You see he's got a wave cap. You see he's got brushes. He's got some oil. You buy a little bit of this, a little bit of that. By the time you get offline, you made a $250 purchase. He's asleep. He wakes up the next morning, you plus 10 other people hit his website that night. He wakes up, he's got $2,000 worth of income and revenue he didn't even work for. And whether you show up the next morning or night, he gets paid. That's how you build wealth in your sleep. So every existing business that we know should also have an e-commerce sister or brother. This is so easy. This is not complicated. And that's why I know this will work. Because it's extremely practical. It's a radical movement of common sense.
Right. Absolutely. Definitely.
Let's do it.
Look forward to it.
I'll keep mine as a souvenir.
I want the one that didn't work.
Put it to work. Yeah.
That's right. Put it to work. Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
God bless you.